Well, welcome to Partners in Ministry. I'm your host, Dan Smith, and today I'll be talking with Sidney York. Sidney is the ranch manager for Wolfe Ranch of Quakerdale near Marshalltown, Iowa. Well, welcome, Sidney, and thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me.
Now, I know a lot's happened since we last talked, so why don't we start out our time together by giving us a recap of what happened this last quarter?
Absolutely. So we talked back in June, I believe, and my golly, have we been busy. So speaking of the last time we spoke, we were right in the very middle of our first week-long camp. We had 2 saddle up and ride camps this year, and we had 7 campers total between the 2. These camps are an absolute blast, not only to put on, but also just to be a part of. We play a whole bunch of games while riding, including musical cones, red light, green light. We do patterns. We have a super fun, interesting game that the kids came up with this year, actually, called 4 Corners. And we do all of these games at the walk and the trot. And throughout every single day, we do more and more. We also learn a lot about just the horse in general. We learn the parts of the horse breeds, the colors, the different tack there is, how to groom them, what grooming brushes are, and basically a very overall basic of everything you need to know about horses. And then my personal favorite throughout all of these camps is the family fun show day on each Friday of the week-long camp. This is a day where parents, grandparents, friends, whoever wants to come and watch the campers and kind of learn what they learned and have the campers kind of show off a little bit. We kind of do like a super fun little show. We play all of our games. The campers kind of run the show. Whatever they decide they want to do is kind of what we do and what we show. And the parents absolutely love it as well. Getting to see the actual work that they've been putting in all week actually come together and form this connection between the camper and the horse. This year for these 2 camps, we also made saddle up and ride t-shirts. This was the first time we did something like that. And I thought it was an absolute blast. I made one as well. So I'm hoping that all of the campers also loved it. And in the bottom picture here on the slide is our first camp round of campers in all of their shirts that they made. We made them in the beginning of the week so then we could wash them and get everything done. And then we all wore all of our saddle up and ride shirts during the family fun show. So it's a super, super fun camp. And if you're really looking for your child or a child that you know that just wants to kind of do a deep dive of what is horses, basically, this is definitely the camp for them as we learn everything from the ground up, basically. So then moving on to July, we hosted the Central Iowa Fair Horse Show. I am the leader of our Bucking Buddies 4-H club here in Marshall County. And unfortunately, the arena at the fairgrounds was way too wet to be able to put on our horse show. But lucky for us, we have a beautiful indoor arena that was perfectly dry. And the show went off absolutely perfect. We had 9 exhibitors total and 10 horses and at least 50 guests. So you could say the ranch was pretty packed that day. Packed in a good way, but all the exhibitors had a fantastic time. And we kind of all just took everything in stride, and being able to do something like this in the short amount of time that we had to actually be able to pull off the show, it definitely opened our eyes to some more events and maybe having some fun shows out at the ranch. So be watching our Facebook page and our website for any upcoming super fun horse activities because we absolutely loved hosting and we loved having everybody here. So make sure you're watching if that's something that you're interested in. And then we also had our Kick Up Your Heels camp. We had 5 campers total for this camp, and we only did one this year. So hopefully next year we'll be able to do a few more as well. But this is a step-up camp from Saddle Up and Ride. So the campers go through the Saddle Up and Ride camp, and then they are eligible to enter and come to Kick Up Your Heels, where we build on all of the knowledge that we learned in the first camp, not only about horses themselves, but also riding. So in Saddle Up and Ride, we learned how to walk and trot. In Kick Up Your Heels, we learn how to go a little bit faster. We learn how to lope if the camper themselves wants to learn something like that. But then we also learn all about horse health, body condition scores, how they move, the different gaits, and then we also learn how to lunge them. So each of the campers gets their own little personal time to lunge a horse, and then they're really able to see every single movement and how the horse's legs move and what each gait looks like. And then that translates to when they're on top and riding them, what it feels like. So they get to not only see it, but they also get to learn the feel of it. And then we do play a lot of the same games in Saddle Up and Ride that we do in Kick Up Your Heels. But Kick Up Your Heels has a much faster pace to it. So we play musical cones, red light, green light. We do patterns. We played 4 corners. But in this specific camp, the campers have the ability to go faster if they want to. So these games, they're very fun all on their own. But being able to go a little bit faster is definitely something that the kids really enjoy. And then just a few weeks ago, we had our annual My Pretty Pony camp. In this camp, we had maxed out at 15 princesses, where we made unicorn headbands. We did hand castle crafts. So those were super fun, but they were still a little bit wet when we took our group pictures, so we didn't have those in there. But we also brushed and rode the horses. And then my personal favorite part of this camp, all 15 of our princesses got to paint on the horses. So as you can see in these pictures down on the bottom, we had Sam and Gus. And I personally believe they love every single minute of getting painted on. The baths after the camp, not so much. They're not big fans of washing off all of our campers' creations. But this is one of our annual camps, and it's open to anyone ages 5 to 10. And you do not have to be a princess to come to this camp. You can be a prince as well. So these ones are so much fun to put on, even if we do have to give baths afterwards. Sure. And then just a couple weeks ago, we had our annual cowboy camp. We had 14 cowboys and cowgirls come to this camp. So both of our annual camps were very, very full this year, which is absolutely amazing. All of these campers got to make cowboy hat headbands and a cactus craft. Then we also brushed and rode the horses, and we usually do stick horse rodeo events. But this year we did something different. We did relay races. So we split up into 2 different teams, and we had a couple different rodeo events. We did poles, and then we did barrels. And we were competing against each other, doing a relay race, and it was so much fun. It definitely tired them out a little bit, so I hope they all got a very good night's sleep after this camp. But after our little rodeo, we learned how to rope. I think I might have gotten roped a little bit more than our cow dummy did, but it's so super fun. This camp is also open to anyone ages 5 to 10. And we have both My Pretty Pony and Cowboy Camp in the fall each year. So if you know of somebody who would enjoy any of these camps, please feel free to reach out. But yes, no, Cowboy Camp is definitely also one of my favorites.
Well, Sidney, I appreciate you getting caught up, but it's not going to be long and the snow's going to be flying. And so that means we need to start thinking about fall and winter. So give us an idea of how riding lessons are going to work this winter, and then fill us in on some events that might be happening later this year to round things up.
Absolutely. I, for one, am not super ready for winter. I don't like the cold, but lucky for us, we have a beautiful insulated indoor arena. So we are able to do riding lessons year round. I always tell all of my kiddos and all of my parents, the worst part about winter riding lessons is walking in and out of the arena, up and down the hill. Once you get into the arena and you start riding and working, you're shedding layers like no other. You get very, very warm. We do lessons for anybody ages 5 and up, and you don't have to have any experience at all. I'll teach it all to you. But if you do have some experience, don't worry, because I also do beginner to advanced riding lessons. Each lesson is very individualized, and I try my best to teach you what you are interested in learning, not what we just teach in general. Obviously, you're going to get the basics and the safety and all of that, but if you're really wanting to learn a certain discipline or learn how to lope or learn how to just gain confidence, I will do my best to teach whatever you are interested in. And every lesson goes at your own pace. You kind of get to decide when you feel comfortable moving forward and doing more. And kind of what you have set for that day. If we want to work on steering or more of balance things, we go very at your own pace. We don't have to move faster or go faster until you yourself are ready. So if you'd like to come and hang out with me, riding lessons, we have so much fun during them. And I try to make them as fun as possible for not only all of our kiddos, but also our adults that come for lessons. But we schedule riding lessons anytime between 10 and 7 each weekday, and then the occasional weekends here and there. But you can also do lessons and learn on one of our horses, or we also offer lessons on your own personal horse. So if you have a horse that you're struggling working with, or you want to gain more confidence on, you are more than welcome to bring your own horse and we can do a lesson on your horse. Or if you'd like to learn on one of ours first, like I said, we're very individualized. So whatever you are aiming for, I will try my hardest to get you to that spot. So then looking into our final event scheduled for the year is Christmas in the Stables. This is an event that we do every single year, and it is so much fun. This year it is set for December 14th from 10 to 2. As always, we will have pictures with Matt, who is pictured here on the screen. He is always dressed up in his Santa hat and his bells, and just really gets you in the Christmas spirit. We still are in the planning process for this particular event, but we will be doing a client-made with help bake sale. We will be having a drawing for prizes, hot chocolate, probably some cookies, and so much more. This is an event for the entire family. It's an absolute pleasure to put on, and it truly is so much fun. It might be a little bit chilly, but don't worry, we always have the fireplace going, so the ranch house is super warm, and you're more than welcome. You get to meet a whole bunch of horses. We might be doing decorated stalls again this year, so you'll be able to vote on your favorite stall and really just get to see what the ranch is all about, get a tour, and really just get in the Christmas spirit. And probably the favorite thing is getting to see Matt, our biggest horse on the property, all up close and personal. He is the definition of a gentle giant. He absolutely loves everybody, and he looks forward to this event every single year, just like we do. But yeah, that is kind of the rest of the year plans. But if something does pop up, it will always be on our Facebook page and our website.
That's great, Sidney. Thank you very much. There's no question that the ranch is a great place for kids and families to have fun, especially even in the wintertime. Hey, if you got any questions or if you'd like to learn more about Wolfe Ranch, you can see Sidney's contact information here on the screen. Or if you want, you can find it on the show notes for this episode on our website or in the description of this YouTube video. If you'd like to support the ministry of Wolfe Ranch, please feel free to make a donation or contact Sidney via email and let her know that you'd like to volunteer and they can find things for you to do to help there. All this and more can be found on the show notes as well as the YouTube description. So on behalf of Wolfe Ranch, Sidney York, and Partners in Ministry, I want to thank you for joining us today. And until next time, let's get out there and serve as Christ serves.